Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hello and welcome, movie film fans. I am your host, Luke, and this is Quick Shot Reviews, the dedicated movie channel for Cheap Shot Entertainment. And as ever, you are the Cheap Shot Nation, and I thank you for joining us for this one. This is a movie that was very divisive. It is a movie that's been remade from an earlier version released in 1947 of the same name and taken from the book of the same name called Nightmare Alley. It was released in 2022, and the director Guillermo del Toro has sort of a cult following when it comes to films, but most of his films are ones that were made with trickery, fantasy, that kind of thing. It does still have fantasy in it, but there's a lot of horror elements in this one which I wasn't expecting. Well, I kind of was expecting it because it's called Nightmare Alley, but for me, it doesn't quite know where it wants to fit because it's not horror and it's not quite drama. It just sort of sits in between, and it's kind of confusing to me. But if you want to hear my full thoughts on this film, if you've seen it yourself, leave us a comment down below. But join us in the main part of the video after you've clicked subscribe and liked the video. Although you could leave that till the end so you know that you do actually like the video. Subscribe. So, Nightmare Alley tells the story of an ambitious carny with a talent for manipulating people with a few very well chosen words, and he hooks up with a female psychiatrist who is even more dangerous than he is at the end, of course. I'm not going to give away the ending fully at this point because one of the things with quick shot reviews is that we don't give away anything apart from a little bit of plot and some thoughts. Now, this stars Bradley Cooper. His first film of 2022. He had a film at the back end of 2021 called Licorice Pizza. Appeared as John Peters. In this one, he's playing Stanton Carlyle. It's also got Kate Blanchett in it as Dr. Lilith Ritter, Toni Collette as Zena Thea, Willem Dafoe as Clem Hoatley, Richard Jenkins as Ezra Grindle, Rooney Mara as Molly Cahill, Ron Perlman as Bruno, and Mary Steenburgen as Mrs. Kimball, pretty much rounding off the main characters as we go along. So I had a lot of high expectations for this movie, and my thoughts on this movie based on that high expectation, which was quite disappointing. Don't ever check the ratings before I go. I saw the trailer in the cinema when I was watching a different film, and really, this all boils down to what hits most modern films these days. It's too blinking long, and it stands 3 hours. 3 hours to get out this story of someone going rags to riches, to rags to riches, and just playing along. I think they overdo it. I really do. I want an hour and a half popcorn movie. I want to be out of there. I want to go and get fast food, and then I want to go home. I don't want to be sat there for 3 hours holding in, a big we because I don't want to miss anything. But then you ultimately end up going out and you miss stuff. You know, keep it simple, people, because I like my big drinks when I'm in the cinema. I like eating popcorn when I'm in the cinema. I can't keep it all down for 3 hours. Just not possible. So, like I say, it's drags and it's pretty predictable. It's so hard to just sit and watch this slow burner of a film that doesn't really go anywhere. The extended dialogue scenes, the camera moves thrown in. I mean, I enjoyed some of it. Throwback to the era of the lighting, and everything seems to have a slash of shadow across it, a bit like a film noir. But it's not interesting enough to make the film interesting. Uh, it's magnificently shot. Can't praise uh, Del Toro more for that. And it's got a stellar cast. And it's got some really good performances, especially by Blanchett and by uh, Perlman, who doesn't appear a lot, but he makes it work. Bradley Cooper and Willem Dafoe. But it just doesn't work for me. I realized watching this movie that I might just not be a Del Toro fan. And I've watched Pan's Labyrinth. It was okay, but that seems to be his biggest thing that got him to the dance in the first place. And I've also seen Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and again, wasn't dead impressed with that, but I get that it was for the younger audience to get them interested, and for that, it's commended, definitely. Um, just skip this one and move on. It's, like I say, it's visually captivating. The storyline left a lot to be desired, and the characters were well acted for the most part, but they lacked a lot of depth. The story was anticlimactic, and at no point um, did I have any sense of anyone wanting anyone to win or lose or whatever. And sadly, this film suffers again, like I say, from what a lot of films suffer from these days, and it was just too long. It made the film drag, and it was ultimately very forgettable. And for a film called Nightmare Alley, I thought this was going to be something quite special. Didn't realize it was a remake until after, till I was doing this write up for it. But yeah, I don't think I'll be going to watch the original. I don't think I'll be necessarily reading the book after watching this. Obviously, like I say, it's beautifully shot, and you've got to give it tips for that. But then I'm also going to give tips to that for the new Texas Netflix Chainsaw Massacre. So do what you will with that. I'm comparing it to the Netflix Chainsaw Massacre, but this one ultimately, yeah, it's a no-go. It's an expensive mess, basically, for me. So, like I say, if you want to go and see it, go and see it, or watch it wherever you can, as long as it's safe and legal to do so. And yeah, leave us a comment in the comment section down below. If you disagree with me, if you agree with me, tell me what you thought of this film. Nightmare Alley, 2022. Guillermo del Toro is the director. And that is my final thoughts. I would miss this one if I was you, um, but then I'm not. So if you want to go and watch it, go and watch it. Free will. It's a great thing. Anyway, join us next time for more movie reviews on Quick Shot Reviews, the dedicated movie channel for Cheap Shot Entertainment. Join us on social media at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you next time, film fans. Goodbye.